October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a time when the world comes together to support those who are still fighting, honor those who have survived the condition, and remind ourselves that early detection truly saves lives. Here on Reflo TV, we believe that the first step to empowerment is awareness. So today we are diving into deep conversations that saves lives. We have our own doctor, Emanuella Afra Addeia, with us, who is a medical doctor. Hello, Doc.
Hi, church girl.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm really excited to be here. How are you too?
I'm doing well.
That's awesome.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. You don't look bad at all. I love your natural hair.
Thank you. And I'm going to be your host for today, and I am Reflo's church girl. So yes, let's start with the basics. What is breast cancer and how does it develop?
All right, so when we talk about breast cancer, we have two words here, breast and cancer. It's fair for people to ask Woonim red, but no one is going to ask Woonim breast because it's something that we all have, even the men, though a lot of them don't like to admit it. For some, it's a point of survival, that's the babies. For some, it's a beauty point, that's our young women. And then for some men, it's a point of embarrassment, when it's bigger than they think it's supposed to look. Yes. Then when we talk about cancer, it's the abnormal growth of cells in any part of the body. Cancer can occur from the top of your head to the very toes of your feet. So when you talk about breast cancer, it's the uncontrolled growth of cells in your breast. So it starts off with a bit of a mess up of the programming of your cells. That's the little building blocks in your breast. They all know when they are supposed to grow, they all know when they are supposed to stop. But when it comes to breast cancer, the cells don't stop growing. They keep on growing, they spread from one breast to the other, and then they even venture into other body parts, and that's what makes it very concerning. So that's what breast cancer is.
Okay, so how common is it in Ghana, and does it affect young people?
So let's start from COVID era. You see, during COVID era, COVID had the most attention in the world. People were so focused on it that things like HIV and then cancers went a bit down in terms of attention. Yes, in COVID, in 2020, that was when COVID was at its peak. 4,400 women died from breast cancer. Every single year, every single year, 2,000 women die from breast cancer in Ghana alone. And every single day, 6 people die. So today, unfortunately, we are going to lose 6 women to breast cancer. So you can see that it's really serious. And when you talk about young women, it's not an issue of increase, actually. It's something that's always been there. It's true that it's a disease of the aged, but then the young women are not exempted. Out of 6 women who have breast cancer, 1 of them is below the age of 35.
Then there is a need for us to discuss the early signs.
Yes, it's a
that
very good
our viewers and everybody listening to us are supposed to take note of it as well. So yes, let's discuss the early signs of breast cancer. Okay,
so most of the early signs of breast cancer zero in on the breast. And so when a woman or a man looks at himself in the mirror, things that you should be looking out for are changes in the nature of the skin of your breast. So if you notice that your breast has gotten a bit reddish, if you notice that there are some little dots on your breast which is making it begin to look like an orange peel, it's not a new design, it's actually a point of concern. And if you notice that your nipples, perhaps previously your nipples were normal, they were jutting out, but then now they are beginning to go inside. For some people from birth, they have it, that's fine.
Naturally.
But if you woke up one morning and your nipples have decided to hide, that's a point of concern. If you notice that now there's a bit of a dimple in your breast, if you notice that there's a discharge coming from your nipple, all of these are signs that you can pick on to know that something is wrong. Of course, the popular one is if you notice a lump in your breast, but that's more of a feeling thing than a looking thing. So these are all signs you should take note of. If you notice that one of your breasts has become markedly bigger than the other, that's a big point of concern. Nobody's breasts are the same in terms of size, but then you notice that now it's noticeably bigger. One is noticeably bigger than the other. It should tell you that something is up and you have to get checked.
And how often should they go for screening, and at what age?
Alright, so practically speaking, I believe that once you start developing breast, you should start screening yourself at home. So we'll talk about self-breast examination. So once you get breast, make sure you are checking it to see how the size is, to see if there's any new lump that is developing. But then, just as we say cervical cancer from the age of 21, you should get screened. I also think it's a good age to start paying attention to your breast. When it comes to imaging, if you are less than 35, you have more dense breasts. And so in that case, it's important to do an ultrasound, not a mammogram. Ultrasound is like one of the surest ways that you can pick it. And a mammogram is the gold standard. So from the age of 35 and above, you need to do a mammogram because now your breasts are not as heavy as they used to be, not as dense. And so a mammogram becomes the gold standard.
So Doc, what is a mammogram?
All right, so a mammogram is an imaging technique specifically designed for breast imaging. So it involves two plates made of mostly glass. One is above your breast, one is below your breast. It presses on your breast just a little, maybe to the point of discomfort but not pain. And then it takes a shot of your breast so that we see what is inside the breast. So if there's any lump in your breast, the mammogram is going to take a picture so that we spot where it is. We know how the lump looks like, and we check if it's a cancerous lump or it's a benign lump.
Okay, how often should a woman go for a mammogram in a year?
So I recommend at least twice a year, so every 6 months.
Okay.
If you can't at all, at least once a year.
Okay. And I believe you are aware some women are scared of going for the checks.
Oh yes.
Especially the ones that they feel they've seen one or two of the symptoms you've mentioned. They are quite more nervous about going for it. So what advice do you have for them? I mean, such people.
So the fear, it's inevitable. There are lots of what ifs that come into your mind the moment you feel a lump in your breast. What if it's cancer? Am I going to die? How many years do I have left? So I'm not going to say that you should wish the fear away. I'm going to rather encourage you that you should do it afraid. The fear is there. It's not going to go away when you go for the check. It's not even going to go away after you're done with the checks because you might be confirmed to have cancer. But then I would encourage you that even if you are afraid, do it anyway. Think about how it's going to improve your quality of life. Think about how when you attack it early, you have a higher chance of survival. Think about your family. Breast cancer has a very devastating effect on families. I've seen it too many times to be comfortable with it. So it's okay to be afraid, but do it afraid. What if it comes out and you don't have cancer? And what if it comes out and you do? Then you know how to target it early on. So me, I would advise you to do it afraid and involve your family. Sometimes we all need that push, that kind of support to go for their screening. So if you notice anything of concern and you have a family member or a friend that you know genuinely cares about you, I would encourage you to reach out and let them know. I have a personal story. So my grandma, when she was 60 years old, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She noticed a lump, she informed her children, and everyone loves Grandma Afra. So we took her to the hospital. So you were named after her? Yes. Very proud granny's girl. Yes, so we took her to the hospital and it came out and she had breast cancer. They said her hair was a bit advanced, so they might have to take out the breast. This woman has never been under the knife before. She's never had surgery before. She was nervous. She said she wouldn't do. So her children put a lot of pressure on her. The doctors also told her the scary effects of it. She went ahead, she had a surgery, she came out successful, and for 8 years she was cancer-free. So do it afraid and involve those who care about you. They will give you the encouragements you need. Don't do it alone.
Okay. But another concerning issue is sometimes we get women who have one or two of the symptoms mentioned, but then they don't have the financial strength to go for the checks, to go for the mammogram. They don't have the money. Are there financial supports, or are there some NGOs or some other people that are readily available to support such women go through that process?
All right, so the finances are a big deal. They're a big issue. A lot of women come to us and they tell us that they tried herbal. And you don't even have to ask to know that the hidden reason why they tried the herbal was because of finances. The unfortunate thing is that we do have a few NGOs, but they don't have the numerical strength and they don't have the financial capacity to walk you through the journey of breast cancer. In my facility, we have a welfare team that is supposed to cover every single disease. If you have a patient who can't handle the financial burden, they go to the welfare team. But the welfare team is supposed to cover every single thing, not just breast cancer. The welfare team is supposed to provide you medication. They will not be able to finance a bill for surgery if you need it. You see, so it becomes an issue. The first thing I would say, the most basic thing, is that still involve your family, still involve your friends, still involve your church. And then there are some NGOs that have been sending out notices. I've noticed some of them on WhatsApp, where they tell you that if you have a relative who has breast cancer is in need of financial support, you should reach out to them. Now we have a lot of GoFundMe apps where you can also put up your plights and then let them know about what you are going through, and people are willing to support. A lot of people are very compassionate, so they are willing to support you. I also know about Pfizer. Pfizer is doing a lot of projects in African countries, Ghana included, to assist in the early detection and then in the management. Another advice I would like to give to all our viewers is to invest in your health. Health issues can surprise you at any time. As you are saving for retirement, as you are saving for your wedding party, it would be nice to have an account just for your health, because the bills are not getting any cheaper. So invest in your health.
Okay, Dr. Emanuella, I know some people that they have the financial strength to actually go for treatment, but they will still consult to the herbal medicines and relax for a period of time before they finally get to the hospital, when actually the condition has even worsened. So what do you have to say about that as well?
So the thing about herbal, the issue we have with herbal as doctors is that a lot of it is not evidence-based. You see, when it comes to orthodox medicines, they've done clinical trials. They know how it works. They know the side effects. When it comes to herbal, we don't know the success rates. We don't know the side effects. We don't know what other problems it's going to cause to your liver, to your kidneys. And I'm personally yet to meet a patient who tried herbal and it worked. In fact, on the contrary, I have horror stories of patients who they tried herbal, it improved the nature of the sores on the breast, but it kept on getting bigger. It kept on getting worse. And so I would never advise herbal medication for a patient with breast cancer. We have medications, yes. We have orthodox medications that have proven side effects that we know how to manage. And then we have the surgical intervention where we just take out the lump to reduce its increase in size. And then we have radiotherapy where we use rays that you can't see with your eyes to kill off the cancer cells. Don't treat it with herbal. Unless you know someone who has a testimony with evidence of pictures, don't do that to yourself. Because the more time you are wasting doing the herbal, the more the cancer is progressing and spreading to other parts of your body. So it's a no-no for me.
So what do you have to say about people who believe that fasting, for example, 7 days and going on an alkaline diet can help with treatment or can help you survive the condition?
All right. So the thing about doctors is that our focus is on evidence-based medicine. So anytime someone brings an alternative route like the alkaline diet, fasting for 7 days, we ask ourselves, physiologically speaking, when we look at how the body works, is this really going to do what it says it's going to do? And then we look for testimonials. We are very passionate about testimonials. So from my perspective, I would say that if you have testimonials with evidence, with pictures, with the human being standing in front of you, you could try that, but don't try that alone. Try that with something else that is evidence-based. Yes. As time goes on, you're going to find other methods, aside from what we know from our medical school lectures and textbooks, that work. I'm not going to say that these ones absolutely don't work, but we've not had sufficient evidence in the medical world to cause us to draw attention to them. So if you want to try that, tell your practitioner, so that they give you the go-ahead, so that they put some guardrails for you, because fasting and doing chemotherapies is going to be an unpleasant combination. Yes, so you can try that, but don't do that in isolation. Inform your doctor, and then also combine it with the other methods that I've already mentioned, like the surgery and the chemotherapy.
So we are both aware of the negative side effects of chemotherapy, and that is often the reason why most people actually are scared when it comes to chemotherapy, because when you discuss the negative side effects with them, they tend to question, then it's better I go slowly than adding chemo to it to worsen the situation. So what do you have to say about that as well?
All right, so we all know chemotherapy has the ugly side, the side where the person loses all their hair, they start vomiting, they lose weight. And that's one of the reasons why early detection is important. You see, for the person who has advanced so much in the cancer, their immune system is already weakened. And so when you introduce the chemotherapy, the doctor actually knows when the person's health state is not strong enough for chemotherapy. It's not every patient that we actually treat when it comes to breast cancer. That's the sad story. There are some patients that doctors meet and we tell you that at this stage you've got into, you can't try chemo, you can't try surgery because you are too weak for it. So early detection, number one. But even for the averagely healthy person who is starting chemotherapy, we keep a close watch over the person and the effects of the chemotherapy. We tell you what to expect, and then we make you come for reviews, and then we also do tests like kidney function tests, liver function tests, to know how you are responding to the medication. So we don't let you start chemo and just leave you alone. No, you come for reviews so that we see, is the cancer reducing in size? How are you holding up in terms of your weight, in terms of the hair loss? How is it affecting your esteem? All those things are to be considered. But think about it, your life and the hair loss. You know, eventually the hair grows back for most people.
Yeah.
So consider it, between your life and then losing the hair and the vomiting, what really is your priority? Some people value their breast so much that they are not willing to do it. And we respect that. When it comes to ethics, no doctor will force you to do chemotherapy. But just consider what you have to gain as opposed to what you have to lose temporarily. It's worth it.
For women who have lost their breast, I know it's a traumatic experience. So are there some measures in place for such women?
All right, so it depends on your facility. There are no hard and fast rules. One of the things that a good or holistic doctor can do is to cause you to consult a psychologist after the procedure and even before the procedure. Before the procedure, you're going to have counseling. They're going to tell you what to expect. Yes, and they're even going to give you alternative plastic surgery measures that you can use. Or the very simplest one, they have this bag, this little bag made of cloth with something inside that they make the woman fix in their bras. This was as late as 2010 when my grandma had breast cancer. She had something like that. We, the mischievous children, were playing with it sometimes. But in those cases, you just put that there, and then nobody even knows that you had a mastectomy. That's the removal of your breast. Yes. So aside that, when we notice the toll it's taking on your mental health, it's actually quite noticeable. People's moods go down, their esteem, they are not able to maybe dress in some ways or show up in some ways they used to. Don't hesitate to reach out to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but preferably a psychologist. Don't hesitate to reach out. Don't wait for a doctor to tell you. It's going to have the toll. So have that in mind. They are going to do counseling. They are going to see a psychologist after the surgery. But
do you know of any organization that actually deals with issues like this? Because, you know, they need a form of psychological help, as you said. They equally need a support system. So are there any organizations that play a role like a support system for such women?
So personally, I'm not aware of any support groups for women who have had their surgeries. But one of the things that is sort of structured into the medical health plan, especially for surgeons, when they know that they are going to take a body part from you, they will counsel you. They will give you a psychology consult. For my facility, that's what we do. If you are going to lose a limb, if you are going to lose breasts, they will tell the psychologist to come and speak to you, to prime you about what to expect, and then to offer you hope. Then they'll also tell you some of the things they can do. They can create a flap. They can actually create a flap that looks like a tuft of breast. Yes, so that it can help with the aesthetic part of it. So they will offer you all these measures because they know that it's a scary matter. So they will tell you the things that you're going to do to support yourself. Yes, once you have to go through the surgery. So it's part of our structure. Most of our health facilities offer that. So there's no group that I can name that offers the kind of support we are looking for women who have survived breast cancer.
Don't worry, Doc. Reflows will do it.
Please do it for us. We're waiting for you.
Okay, so let's move on to the risk factors.
Okay.
Yes. So what are some of the risk factors of breast cancer?
All right. Before I talk about risk factors, I want to talk about one of the paradoxes of health. The truth is that, unfortunately, you can do everything. You can follow all the rules, and you still get breast cancer. Or some other things of health concern like hypertension, diabetes. There's no perfect way that you can avoid it coming to you. Some of the risk factors, you can't even modify it. So we tell you the risk factors. We advise you to do as much as you can to avoid putting yourself at risk. But don't be surprised if you escape all the risk factors and you still end up with breast cancer. Just make sure that you detect it early. So that we can solve it. So the risk factors, as I mentioned, we have the modifiable ones and then the non-modifiable ones. You can't modify the fact that you're a woman. Women, 99% of cases of breast cancer is women. Yes, you can't modify the fact that you're growing old. The older you grow, the higher your risk of getting breast cancer. But then there are some other things like lack of exercise, the use of hormonal replacement therapy. We are not saying don't do it, but you have to be aware of the fact that as you are doing it, you are exposing yourself to more of a hormone we call estrogen. Yes, so the more you expose yourself to that, your risk goes a bit high. It does not mean that by all means you're going to get it. Yes, but you have to just be aware of it that, okay, so I'm using HRT, hormone replacement therapy. I'm using this medication that reduces the symptoms of menopause for me. but then it means I should also keep on doing my checks. Another risk factor is nulliparity, not giving birth. Another risk factor is giving birth and not breastfeeding your child. So when you give birth and you say, oh, I'm not really excited about the breastfeeding thing, you are increasing your risk. Another thing is genetics and family history. So people who have a family history of breast cancer have to be more conscious about it, because you have a higher risk. And then if you've had breast cancer before and you've survived it, you've done the surgery, you've taken the medicine, unfortunately you are at a higher risk as well. So all of these are risk factors that we have to take note of.
Okay, Doc, let's discuss the myths and misconceptions about breast cancer.
All right, so the first myth I want to bring to our attention is the myth that men don't get breast cancer. So not true. Men are also at risk of breast cancer. And with them, it's even more serious because they don't have a lot of breast tissue. So the cancer tends to spread faster. It deals with the breast very quickly, then moves on to the chest and other body parts. So if you're a man, you're not exempted. It's not something you should be embarrassed about. Just be aware of the fact that you are at risk of breast cancer. And the signs that they tend to have are similar to what women have. So they also have changes in their breasts. Maybe the breast increases in size. They notice a bit of a lump. They notice a bit of an ulcer, any dimpling in the breast. It's similar to what the women have, actually quite similar. And then they also tend to have the symptoms of spreading faster. So they tend to have the back pain faster. They tend to have the cough and difficulty breathing and other issues with their chest faster. But I know that men can get breast cancer. Another myth is that if I don't have a family history of breast cancer, then I'm free. Unfortunately,
you're not free.
No. The family history is just one of the risk factors. There are so many other things that put us at risk of breast cancer. So the fact that no one in your family has gotten it yet does not mean don't go for screening. Please go for screening. Please examine yourself at home so that you can reduce your risk, or if you get it, so that you can treat it faster. Another very interesting myth I've heard before is that the use of deodorants can cause breast cancer. Please, it's not proven.
There's another scope of view that the aluminium in the antiperspirant can also cause cancer. How true is that?
All right, so there have been some views on the aluminium blocking the sweat glands, and that's contributing to breast cancer. But once again, you see, doctors work with evidence. So in evidence-based medicine, we've not had that high incidence to say that, okay, everybody stop using antiperspirants. We've not gotten there yet. However, because we know that it's one of the possibilities, we won't say don't use antiperspirants. We'll say pay more attention to your breasts. As we gather the evidence, if it gets to a point where we say, okay, this is actually a direct link. And one thing about risk factors are not causes. Risk factors are things that increase your chances. So there's someone who will use antiperspirants for their entire life and they will not have breast cancer. So what you have to know is that if you are at risk in any way and there's something you can't do much about, then pay attention to your breasts so that when there's anything, you catch it very early.
All right, Doc, we need to talk about the preventative measures.
All right, so we need to do what we can to avoid getting breast cancer. So the first thing I'll talk about is exercise. Then the next thing is your diet. So regular exercise, it just tends to boost your immunity generally. And so it's one of the things that we have to adopt as a way of reducing our risk. Then another thing with diets, the more processed foods you take, the more you introduce carcinogens. That's things that increase your risk. They are chemicals that increase your risk of cancer. You introduce carcinogens into your body. So as much as possible, take more of the natural foods. Actually, fruits and vegetables have been proven. I know some of us don't like the taste, but they've been proven to have antioxidant effects. Basically, that means that they reduce the injury to your cells. That injury is what is going to make the programming go whack. So they reduce the injury to your cells and then they protect you. So more exercise, more fruits and vegetables. If you can reduce your level of exposure to radiation and radiated chemicals getting into your body, that's also great.
What about the use of microwaves?
Yes, so microwave food is higher in oxidant chemicals, especially when you microwave your water. It actually has something they call
people
hydrogen.
microwave their water?
Yes, it seems a bit faster than using the kettle for some people.
I see.
But when you do that, you are increasing the oxidants, the things that will trigger the programming to go wrong in your body. Again, this is not like 100%. If you do it, you are going to get it. But if you can avoid doing it, then avoid doing it. Reduce your exposure to radiation, reduce your exposure to oxidative substances like the processed foods and also the microwave food, microwave water as well.
So aside October being the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, what can we do to keep the awareness going?
All right, so it's as practical as talking about breast cancer more outside the month of November. What if we had a countdown to Breast Cancer Awareness Month? What if we started from January and we are counting down to October and we are talking about breast cancer every day? And then what if people don't limit themselves to October to go for screening? Because you can actually walk into any health facility.
We will save more lives, I tell you.
You can walk into any health facility and then tell them that, oh, you want to do an ultrasound or you want to do a mammogram, and no one is going to say they are not going to do it for you. And so it's more of talking about it outside the month of October. It's great to have a month scheduled for that, because with all the diseases we have around, we tend to sometimes lose focus on cancers. So it's great to have 1 month to talk about it. We are not ruling that out, but we can talk about it more on social media. We can talk about it more on the television. We can discuss it more when we go for health outreaches. It is the #1 cancer in women in Ghana. It's breast cancer. So anytime you talk about, you think about cancers or malignancies, as we like to call them, think about breast cancer and talk about it. Don't wait for October.
To talk about it.
And don't wait for October to walk into a health facility also to get yourself checked.
And many women rely on self-examination. How effective is it? And can you take us through how our viewers can also do their own breast cancer screening?
All right, so self-examination is actually a bit on the lower scale when it comes to sensitivity. It works if you do it consistently, because when you do it consistently, you're able to pick changes faster because you are used to your breast. But in the same vein, someone who is a health worker is 10 times more likely to detect the lumps than you are. However, it's subjective. It is highly subjective. So when it's done consistently, it helps us to pick the lumps. There are some lumps you will never miss when you do the examination. But then there are some really small ones that the ultrasound and the mammogram are better for. So it's not the #1. But then it's one of the easiest ways to start. It's one of the easiest ways to pick something in your breast. And so it's effective, but if you can do an ultrasound, if you can do a mammogram, go for it. Yes. So we are going to talk about how to do the self-breast examination.
Before that, when is the best time in the month for you to do it? Or the most effective time to do the self-examination?
All right, so some people talk about it being around your ovulatory period when your estrogen levels are having their way in your body and everything, but there's actually not a fixed time, because remember, the cancer is going to be there throughout the month. If it is there, if there's a lump in your breast, some of the lumps, the ones that are not cancerous, will actually be more evident at certain points of your ovulatory period. But when it comes to breast cancer, the lump doesn't change. It actually tends to grow very slowly in your body. So there's no particular time. You can actually make it a practice that when you go and use a shower, when you're about to take your bath, then you just examine. So it becomes part of your everyday doings. So that when there's something, you will notice it's very early. So when you want to examine your breast at home, you can strike one of two poses. You can lie down on a bed, in which case you can just raise your hand a bit above your head so that it raises your breast up a bit. Or you can just stand in a mirror. But either way, before you start, you have to look at your breasts. So you're looking for skin changes, any ulcers, any masses, any dimpling, any change in the color of your breast. Maybe your breast has become a bit red. Any change in the size. So you first focus on how the breast is looking before you start to feel. So in starting to feel, there are a lot of patterns that we can use. You use the palm of your hand, so this way, yes. And there are a lot of ways you can do it. Imagine the sun's rays, right? Imagine them directed towards your nipple. That's one of the ways you can do it. So you can start from here, and then you softly touch the breast, and then you advance towards the nipple in a straight line. We are thinking of the sun's rays, so then you go and start from here as well. Then you continue touching towards the nipple. The nipple is also involved, as well as the areola. So sun's rays, you go to this side, you palpate towards the nipple. Sun's rays, you go a bit down, you palpate towards the nipple. So you continue that motion till you've done the sun's rays all the way to the nipple. And then when you're done, it's also advisable to palpate. What I mean is to touch. Palpate is the same as touch. So to palpate towards your armpit as well, because breast cancers tend to affect the nodes in our armpits. Yes. So you continue to the armpit as well. And then another way you can do it is to imagine a wave-like progression. So you go down, you go up. So as you are palpating, what you are looking for is a mass in your breast. It may either be moving, a shifting mass, or it may be a fixed mass. It might even feel like it's going inwards with your skin. Breast cancer can show up in a lot of ways. And we also have a lot of masses that are not cancerous at the beginning, but become cancerous later. So it's not only breast cancer you're looking for. When you do a self-breast examination, you're looking for lumps. Either they are moving or they are fixed. If you find out it's benign, you pay attention to it until it goes away, or you just do a small surgery to take it out. But then if you find out it's malignant, then you know the steps that you progress with.
Okay. Finally, what advice will you give to women watching about the preventive measures, going for early screening, and taking charge of their health?
So, dear lady, dear gentleman, breast cancer is not a death sentence. As much as you are tempted to panic when you feel something in your breast, or when your doctor tells you there's something in your breast you have to get a scan of, take a deep breath. The fear won't go away, but action must follow. And so, get it checked in the hospital. Pay attention to what you eat. Pay attention to the things you expose yourself to in terms of radiation, in terms of the microwavable foods. And please exercise, move your body. Don't shy away when it comes to free breast screening. Don't shy away from walking into a facility and having a scan done for your breast. You can survive, you can overcome this. And if you are someone who is already in the thick of the battle in breast cancer, we are rooting for you, we are praying with you. We know that you're going to come out of this better, you're going to come out of this stronger. Your well-being is our #1 priority because you deserve the best.
Yes, your well-being is our #1 priority because you deserve the best. It was lovely having you, Dr. Emanuella Afra Addeia.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a lovely time.
My pleasure. And to you watching, thank you so much for watching. See you again.